Declan Doyle.
Declan,
maybe.
And Matt Skraby.
I will take the blame for that bad question, okay?
Gwynn and Chris are ready to go.
Milner deals, and Ramon tied up, swings and misses at a pitch inside, strike three. The ball game is over. Cubs hang on for a 5-4 win in the rubber game here this afternoon, and these three teams will meet up again in June, and who knows, maybe in October. What a series between the Padres and the Cubs, and the Northsiders come to San Diego and take 2 out of 3.
Yes, unfortunately, just as they did last October. Welcome into Gwynn and Chris, everybody, the post-game edition. A little after 5 o'clock, Chris Ello, Matt Skraby together in our Odyssey Palace studios. Brought to you by Bill Howe. We know how, and we know how to try to put an end to the month of April. Not a great ending for April, unfortunately, the way the game went today. I think there's enough frustration to go around. Manny Machado got to be frustrated with that ground ball. He, be honest with you, he could have just come to the plate and turned around and told the umpire, you know what, rather than go through the motions here, let's just call it a ground ball, and I'll go a double play, and I'll go sit down.
GIDP.
Yeah, let's just call this a double play, and I'll go sit down, because that's how easy that double play was. It couldn't have been any more.
Was he standing on the base as he fielded it?
Yeah, it was Machado could have caught the ball from the pitcher, run it out to the guy, and handed it to him. It wouldn't have been an easier double play than that. Fernando Tatis Jr. has got to be fit to be tied. He's got to be, just ecstatic that April is over. And he's got to hope that May, starts bringing some power back to his bat. And he was 1 for 3 today, and he had an RBI, and, he stole a base, and, he made a sliding catch in the outfield. So he did a lot of Fernando stuff. But if you watched him bat in the 8th inning with the bases loaded and nobody out, he got a room service hanging curveball.
He did.
The ball was just screaming to be hit. And he hit it. But he got under it, and he knew it. And you could see his reaction at home plate as that ball went flying to center field. Now it got a run in, it got the man over. But he knows. He knows that should have been a grand slam. Right there. The pitch was room service, and he missed it. And so ends a month of missing pitches for Fernando Tatis Jr. No home runs. And he's now got that title by himself, because Miguel Andujar and Nick Castellanos both got off the schneid today.
I was waiting to say,
right?
Even Nick Castellanos has a home run.
Well, and both guys hit theirs on hanging curveballs, but you still got to hit it out of the park, as Fernando, frustratingly knows. There was more frustration to go around today. I think Jason Adam really struggled through that 8th inning. He could not get a feel for the baseball. And when you throw 2 pitches in a row, basically behind a guy, and both pitches, by the way, were off-speed pitches. So the intent was not there. But what happens when you finally get back into the strike zone, you still don't feel comfortable, and you end up grooving a pitch. Matt Shaw should not be able to hit a home run off Jason Adam. No. I just don't think that should happen. But it wasn't a great pitch. That was a big run. Jackson Merrill's got to be frustrated. He's got to be frustrated. He's hitting 200 on the button. He doesn't have, don't look now. Fernando doesn't have an extra base hit since April 13th. Jackson doesn't have one for 12 days now. So those are your 2 basically best hitters. Neither of them has an extra base hit for coming on 2 weeks. But more than that, Jackson Merrill knows he should have caught that deep fly ball. Would it have been a good play? Yeah. Can he make good plays? Yeah. He missed. It wasn't that he misjudged the jump, I didn't think. It was that he misjudged how much room he still had. He actually didn't even need to jump so much. It's just go back another step and reach up and catch the ball. But he thought he was at the fence, and he wasn't quite there. And it was a difficult play, man, with the sun and everything going on. And they rule it a double, which is another thing I can argue about forever and ever, and I'll never win the argument.
You would have ruled it an air?
I'll just say it this way. I think Jackson Merrill would have ruled it an air because he felt he should have caught it.
We should leave it up to the player.
Right. He should be able, Jackson Merrill should be able to go into the dugout, call up to the official score and go, yeah, give me an error on that one. I should have caught it.
I mean, Jackson Merrill over the last 7 days, Chris, has struck out 8 times. He's hitting 130. His OPS is 361, and that's just the last 7 days. If you go out a little bit further, it's still those numbers.
It is. So he's frustrated. And, there's probably a few more guys after a game like that. That's just a tough one to lose in so many different ways. And, so you hang with them. You got a day off tomorrow. Then the month of May starts and the White Sox will come in. Your streak of 7 series in a row without losing is now over. The Cubs are now your current, kryptonite. Right? They beat you in October, 2 out of 3 there. They beat you right now, 2 out of 3 here. Pretty much a fair fight, right? Both teams have injury. I mean, the Cubs bullpen, they don't even have anyone in their bullpen. I mean, their top, I think 3 or 4 guys are all hurt.
Did the Padres have anyone in their bullpen this series?
They didn't pitch like they did, right? The Cubs bullpen pitched pretty well. Ben Brown, I thought, threw great. And, he was the hero, really, for them to nail down that win. So, yeah, they take 2 out of 3, and you move on. You'll get them again in June. But the bigger picture is what I want to look at, because that's the frustrating part of losing today. The bigger picture is this. The last time the Padres won 18 games in the month of April, do you know what year it was?
1998.
Very good. Did you read
Everything is just 1998.
Did you read AJ Casavel's note, or did
I
you just guess? Okay.
No, I guessed.
You're right. You are right, sir.
Mostly the Padres records are 1998.
1998. It's been 28 years since they've had this good of an April. So it's kind of hard to be ticked off about it.
So we have to temper our
That's right.
Our criticism today.
They won 18-7. They won 72% of their games this month. And they somehow did that with a rookie manager who's still trying to find his way without their number 1 or number 3 starting pitcher, with 2 of their key setup bullpen guys hurt. One guy who hasn't even pitched yet this season in Matsui, Estrada being the other. And foremost, they went 18-7 with basically bubkas from Fernando Tatis Jr., Jackson Merrill, and Manny Machado. That is incredible when you think about it. I mean, if you said those 3 guys were going to do absolutely nothing, you'd be more inclined to think they went 7-18.
I would think they would have the Phillies record.
That's right. So, we and you and I and Skraby and I'm sure Stammen and everybody else does not expect this to continue for those 3 hitters. Manny had a couple of breakout games there at the end of the month, but he went right back into the frustrating zone today.
I know we've talked about this, but Manny hits into a lot of ground double plays, and that's just because he comes up with the opportunity to do that.
Yeah.
But I really felt it was going to be different this time, Chris.
There was, like I said, it was the most obvious double play maybe in baseball history.
Yeah.
It just was. It was incredible. He only made it 2 steps out of the box because that's how quick they turned the double play. Like it was step on second, throw to first before he could even put his bat down.
Yeah. I thought, we're going to go notes on the scorecard.
Yeah, we got notes on the scorecard. We'll break all of that stuff down later, actually at the bottom of this hour. So you Padre fans don't go anywhere. Notes on the scorecard is going to be crazy wild today. It includes one of my biggest pet peeves in baseball. Drives me crazy. If you followed
name and logo,
yeah, makes me do that.
Makes you feel like the Commanders changed their name.
Yeah, when I see this play in Major League Baseball, I can't stand it, and it happened today. It'll be part of notes on a scorecard. Also, some other stuff happening in sports on this Wednesday. 5-4 Cubs won it. Gwynn and Chris, special edition until 7 o'clock on 97.3 The Fan.
If you ever
back, gonna go! And Duhar with his first home run as a Padre to get him on the board. Now Castellanos with his first home run as a Padre, and he ties it up 3-3.
Yeah, that A.J. Preller. He's getting dividends off of his free agent signings there. Both home runs came in the fifth inning, tied the game today for the Padres. They had been down 3-0. But Adrian Morejon gave it right back. We're going to talk about it in the notes on the scorecard. It's in 5 minutes, but I'll just give you an advance. I can't stand it when a relief pitcher comes into the game and just throws 4 balls. Like, really? You could have brought me into the game out of the stands. Stop doing that. Get into the game and pitch and attack. And that run came in.
Who are we talking about?
Morejon.
Oh, okay.
Sixth inning. That run came in to score. Those things bug me. I guarantee the managers don't love that.
Well, the manager wasn't even there today.
Where is the manager?
He had to go to a funeral.
I wish them all the best.
Yes. You stopped in your tracks right there.
No, I wasn't going to criticize him. I just really didn't get the word on where Craig Stammen was.
He got news last night that something happened, so he had to fly out, and I believe he's back by Friday.
I would imagine, with the day off tomorrow. Because he didn't finish the game last night.
No,
he left last night.
He had to catch a flight.
Yeah, that's a shame. All the best to Craig and the family there. I'm sure he was watching the game somewhere today, and when Morejon walked that guy, he probably went, I hate that.
I always wonder, how do you watch a game if you're the active manager, and you had a family emergency? How do you actually watch that game?
Who's crazier, Craig Stammen watching the Padres play, or me or you watching either of our favorite NFL teams
we are
play?
For sure.
I mean, so you're asking how can he do it? Fans, we sit there. You're watching a 49er game. You see a play. Like, how do you do it?
You know how many times in the playoffs they said, the game's over?
Yeah, game's over. Yeah, right. Anyway, game was over as it turned out, 5-4. Really frustrating eighth inning for the Padres. Bases loaded. Nobody out. Fernando and Manny can only get in 1 run. And the Padres end up 1 run short.
You want to talk about something that annoys me? And I know it's baseball, and I know it could happen on Friday, and they could come through on Friday.
Right.
But that is the worst part of the lineup for the pitcher to have to go through, because you got your big hitters on the Padres, and they didn't do anything. It bothers me.
It's the bizarro world right now. You'd rather face those 3 guys, Merrill, Tatis, and Machado, than face, say, Sheets and Duhar and Ty France. And that's just that's just
how baseball goes.
That's bizarro world.
It is.
That's George Costanza deciding to do everything he normally doesn't do, and then he starts getting dates. That's how that works. I don't know why and how. Lakers, couple of quick other notes before we're going to get to the notes on a scorecard. More Padres in a few minutes, but the Lakers go for the clinch tonight against Houston. Kevin Durant's not going to play. And Kevin Durant is taking a lot of criticism right now from the national media, not so much even because he's missing the series, but because he went to Houston this year. Do you know how many more games Houston won this year than they did last year without him?
The way you're phrasing it, none.
Exactly. They had the same record with him or without him. And, things didn't turn out too well for him at the end in Phoenix either. Like, that team didn't even make the playoffs his last year there. So some of the greatness of Kevin Durant is being called into question. I don't know if it's 100% fair, but that's what's happening. The Rockets will try to stay alive tonight. The Lakers, meanwhile, they can get Luka and Reeves coming back. I honestly, there's not a lot of NBA to look forward to these days, but a Laker-Oklahoma City series with LeBron on the floor writhing in pain every time he's touched, and SGA falling down every time somebody comes within 2 feet of him, and Luka Doncic complaining about every call or non-call in the history of the sport.
He's always got his hands like, what are you doing?
I don't know how he ever gets a shot off with his palms up like this. Yeah. It is going to be one of the funnest series, I think, to see those 2 teams complain just all day and all night to each other and the refs, and try to make it through that. But the Lakers have to win tonight to clinch it. Detroit's trying to stay alive. They're up 6 over Orlando late in the second quarter. They're down 3-1, so that could be an 8 seed moving on. And last I saw, Cleveland-Toronto Game 5 tied at 2 in the series, and 1 point lead for Cleveland in the second quarter. So we'll keep you up to date on that. And we will remind you that all guests on the program join us on the SDCCU fan hotline. It's not big bank banking. It's better. I don't believe we have any guests today, but we do have a notes on a scorecard, and it's going to be popping, as Tony likes to say. Yeah, through
all
that
right.
borrowing from my partner.
It's going to be popping.
But it's also, yeah, right. It's going to be popping.
No, you said it right. Popping without the G.
Yeah, with him, though, it sounds cool when he says it,
Yeah,
and I
'cause
can't get there.
Both of us can't get there.
I can't get there. All right, so can you guess, though, what it is, my pet peeve that happened in the game today? You'll hear it in Notes on a Scorecard when we return.
Ben and Wood.
Chris and Skraby today from the Bill House Studios, where we know how. Don't forget, tomorrow morning, 9 a.m., another epic Padres roundtable with all of the gang. I believe Tony Gwynn Jr. scheduled to be a part of the roundtable tomorrow.
Season debut.
His roundtable debut tomorrow morning, 9 to 10 a.m. Ben Higgins will host it. I'll be there, and so will everybody else. So make sure if you're a Padre fan, you're in on that. 9 to 10 a.m., the Epic Roundtable brought to us all by our good friends at Epic Wings. Always fresh, never frozen. Let me say that right. Always fresh, never frozen.
You know what? That is important because about 3 or 4 months ago went somewhere.
And you could still taste the freeze.
A chicken sandwich.
Yeah.
Not kidding, Chris. The middle was frozen.
Still frozen. Yeah, that would be
I go, this is frozen. They're like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. And they heated it up in the microwave. I'm not obviously going to say where I was.
Yeah.
I'm never going back there.
I want to get to notes on a scorecard, but I will tell you that Lori and I went to dinner once and they put chicken on her salad. And of course, she's vegetarian, and it told them not to put chicken, that she needed fake chicken.
Yeah.
There was
fake chicken?
Oh, there's plenty of fake chicken out there. Oh, yes. There's tons of it now.
Oh, wow.
All right. So you learned something new. Anyway, she said, take this off. I mean, I can't have this on my salad. Get it away from me. The guy said, oh, I'm really sorry. Came back no more than 45 seconds later with her salad, now with the fake chicken on it. She's like, no, you don't understand.
The juices are all over
I'm not going to eat this just because, But certain people don't get
I get it. You don't want to waste food, but
too bad.
You took the order wrong.
Well, then give it to somebody in the back because I'm not eating it. I'm not eating it. All right, let's check traffic. Notes on a scorecard. It's going to be a wild one. It's coming up here after a 5-4 Cubs victory.
From the 855 Get Ross Traffic Center. Injured? Demand justice. Demand Jurowitz. 855GetRoss.com.
Ongoing delays in San Diego with traffic slow on the 5 south from the airport and starts to the 15. The 805 south also chopped the whole way from the 52 to the 15. I'm Tiffany Whitstone, San Diego traffic.
Traffic brought to you by Albertsons, Vons, and Pavilions. It's barbecue season. Time to dust off the grill and head on over to Vons or Albertsons. Get fresh 80% lean ground beef. Now just $3.99 a pound when you buy 3 pounds or more with membership where applicable. Shop in store or online at Vons or Albertsons.com.
What did Chris like? What does Chris want to clean up? Observations written on a grocery list. Notes on a scorecard starts now.
All right, here's the grocery list for those watching on YouTube. 5-4 Cubs is how it turned out. Here are my thoughts, stuff I wrote down on the scorecard during the ball game today. First up, second pitch of the game was a knuckleball by Matt Waldron. It went at the knees of Nico Horner, then dipped underneath his bat, and he swung wildly and missed it.
Mm-hmm.
They showed a replay on TV, and my friend Tony Gwynn Jr. said the following: when it comes to the knuckleball, if it's high, let it fly. But if it's low, you got to let it go.
Okay.
I had to give Tony credit. I've heard that before, but he applied it at the right time.
I mean, he doesn't get to apply it to knuckleballs often.
So. Nico Horner swung at a low knuckleball, and he should have let it go.
He learned.
Very good by Tony.
I mean, that thing did dive pretty quickly.
Yes, it did. All right, so I told you I had a major pet peeve in the game. It's not going to take deep into the scorecard for you to hear what it is, because it happened in that same at-bat for Nico Horner. He popped the ball up way high into the sunny sky. The ball was about 2 feet to the right of the mound. But the stupid unwritten rule in baseball is the pitcher can't catch a pop-up. And we once again saw how dumb that rule is today, because since Matt Waldron wasn't allowed to catch it, though it was right next to him, Ty France had to come running in, looking directly into the sun. He couldn't even see the ball. So Jake Cronenworth had to run in from basically short right field, ran about a 70-yard sprint, and predictably didn't catch up to it, and the ball fell in. Had they just let Matt Waldron catch it, he would have had it like a can of corn, and there would have been one out.
Now,
asked you. This bothers me so much because we still see it. When are they going to just get over it? It's a dumb rule.
What if Matt Waldron isn't a good fielder? What if he... I honestly do buy it that you have to negotiate the mound.
Yeah, I believe that's their excuse.
I do buy it.
I do. But
have you ever tried to look up in the air and step off a high area at the same time?
You can't do it. But you know what? Matt Waldron and every other pitcher is a Major League Baseball athlete. Negotiate your way down the mound, look up, find the ball, and catch it. It's right there. Don't get me going on pitchers can't catch pop-ups.
Someone on the chat said, did this affect the outcome of the game? Not really, but it's fair.
It's a note on a scorecard.
It could affect an outcome.
Yeah, wait till that happens in the bottom of the ninth and Mason Miller is not allowed to catch one and the game is lost.
Yeah, remember
then you're going to ask me whether I should bring it up or not?
Do you remember when Eric Hosmer dropped that ball to end the game in Houston?
I do. He had to, but he also had to run 90 feet down to try to catch it because the pitcher can't catch it. I hate that rule. All right, so the defense giveth, but they took it away at the end of the inning because Bogaerts made an unbelievably nice double play.
He has been making some great plays.
First and third, line drive, short hops it behind the bag, steps on second, doubles it at first. No damage done. Well done.
Bada bing, bada boom.
Bada bing, bada boom. Tatis comes up, and it got me to an article today that was I think it was on ESPN, and it was about the most disappointing players in April. And, of course, Tatis was mentioned.
Fair.
And the reason he was mentioned is because he hasn't hit a home run. The article was quick to point out that he does have the third now highest ratio of hard-hit balls in all of baseball. So he's hitting the ball harder than anybody.
He is.
But here's the other point that a lot of Padre fans are not thinking about. He is almost last in baseball in launch angle. That's everybody in baseball. That's like,
look at you with the launch angle.
Yeah, that's backup catchers. That's everybody. Fernando's not getting the ball in the air. It's as simple as that.
Okay, let me just put that in perspective.
Okay.
In 2026, his launch angle on average is 3.5 degrees.
Mm-hmm.
That's by far and away the lowest of his career.
Right.
Like his career average is 10 degrees. He is 6.5 degrees below that.
Yeah, he's nowhere near where he needs to be, and
just swing a little bit lower, Fernando.
Whatever you got to do, but they got to get that fixed. They got to get it fixed. We can't go through a whole season with Fernando hitting ground balls.
I mean,
only.
See, this is why I think he's going to break out of it, because his numbers are just, look at his baseball savant. Mostly it's all red, which is telling me that he's doing great, but he's not getting the results.
Top of the second inning, we talked about this already. Jackson Merrill might have actually taken away a home run. I don't know if that ball by Conforto would have gone over the fence. I think it would have, but the fact that it hit his glove and went for a double didn't make anybody feel any better. Ty France made a really, really good play, picking a throw by Bogaerts.
Yeah,
because that would have been first and third or more with nobody out. He also made a nice play on the PCA ground ball and kept the runner at third with 2 outs. Ty France, I think, has been really, really spectacular.
I think we found our everyday first baseman. I'm sorry to the Gavin Sheets fans out there, but I think
that's not going to happen. Good try, but it's not going to happen. Miguel Amaya came up. I wanted to share a story I heard about him today that you may not know yet.
Okay.
Apparently, earlier this season in a Dodger-Cub game,
I do know about
our friend Dalton Rushing referred to Miguel Amaya as a fat bleep.
We don't know for sure. I've watched the video like 1,000 times.
Okay, so you don't know for sure, but Nico Horner swears he heard it.
Nico Horner's look at him tells me he heard something.
Nico Horner said he heard it, and Nico Horner said that he's really upset with himself that he didn't take action right then.
Okay, then I believe it.
He's really mad. Like, that's been bothering Nico Horner that he didn't step in and do something right there.
It's a rude thing to say. And guess what?
I think it caught Nico Horner by surprise, as do a lot of stupid things, apparently, that Dalton Rushing says.
Here, do you know why Dalton Rushing is starting to get a little bit of a bad rep? Last night, I believe it was last night, he tried to take a timeout, and the umpire didn't grant it, so they struck him out on time.
Yeah, he wasn't pleased with that.
And he was like, no, you gave it to me. But if you're going to act like an idiot, it's going to follow you.
Bottom of the second inning, the Cubs get the first dumbass challenge of the game. If Amaya played for the Yankees, they would have given him a fine.
$500.
I mean, look, it's a 1-0 pitch to Xander Bogaerts. Even if you're right, it just makes the count 1-1. But they were wrong, and they lose a challenge in the bottom of the second inning, totally wasted. Bottom of the third inning, Taillon strikes out the side. Starts getting me thinking of Taillon in the last game of that playoff last year where he shut us down for 4 innings. Padres went 9 in a row to open the game. Top of the fourth, a 2-out bunt by Matt Shaw. Andujar's deep. They give it to him. He takes it. I immediately write down, with 2 outs, is that a smart play? Before I was finished writing it, PCA made it a smart play. So he lined a 2-run homer into the seats. And, you want to criticize Matt Waldron. I'm not going to, because I still think he's doing okay. His defense he was making it a lot harder for him today. But this pitch to PCA was just dumb. And it was his third best pitch. It was a sweeper. It wasn't a knuckleball. It wasn't a fastball. If you're going to throw your third best pitch, I get it, but you can't put it in the middle of the plate. Your third best pitch cannot ever be in the middle of the plate. And it cost him 2 runs. Matt Waldron is not pitching as bad as you think he is. His defense is not making it easy on him.
That is PCA wheelhouse.
But it was a sweeper. At least if you put, it's a fastball, you put some steam on it, you knuckleball and it jumps to the middle, fine. But that's your sweeper. That should be nowhere near the middle of the plate.
See, I feel like that's
bad pitch, bad execution, bad idea.
Maybe we could do this later, but I feel like that's why when Matt Waldron's on the mound, if his knuckleball does not work, I don't think he has good enough stuff to get deep into a game.
He doesn't, but his knuckleball needs to be working. But that's the same for every knuckleballer in history.
That's true.
Phil Niekro could have never got through a game just on fastballs and curves, but he's in the Hall of Fame. Bottom of the
Shout
fourth.
out Phil Niekro.
Yeah, right. Yeah, he's passed, so we can't get
darn.
him. Bottom of the fourth, the power triumvirate of Merrill, Tatis, and Manny is set down in order again. That's 12 in a row today and 22 in a row by Cubs pitching going to last night. That was annoying.
That was annoying.
Top of the fifth, Nico Horner gets hit by pitch, knuckler to the helmet.
No, it wasn't a knuckle.
What was that?
It was a fastball.
Oh, I don't think it was a fastball.
No, that's what it was, an 89-mile-an-hour pitch. That's what MLB.com's telling me.
They can say what they want. He didn't have everything on that ball, or Nico Horner wouldn't have got up or ran to first base like he did.
I think it's because the fastball is not that fast.
89 to the head is enough to put you down.
I totally agree with you.
To me, it was a knuckler that glanced off his helmet. They say what they want to say. Horner was fine, but it did get me thinking that hockey goalies used to play with no masks.
That's crazy.
And I'm just thinking, because if baseball players played with no helmet, Nico Horner would be laid out in Scripps Hospital somewhere right now.
Yeah, they said 89.8-mile-an-hour fastball.
I know what they said, but I saw the pitch and it didn't have anything behind it. It just danced in there.
Maybe that's his fastball, Chris.
Maybe. Bottom of the fifth, a good for Andujar, a terrible hanging curve, but he didn't miss it. Same for Castellanos. Credit Stammen or staff.
Randy Knorr.
For recognizing that Castellanos has a huge career average against Taillon. Put him in a game where he has the best chance to succeed. And that curveball he did not miss. So good for you, Nick. You needed one. I hope it gets him going. 164 was not what they signed up for. But it's April. Hopefully he'll snap out of it, moving forward. Top of the sixth inning, Morejon walks the leadoff hitter. I already talked about this. But that run came around to score. And I got to give Campusano a little ding here. With the runner at third and 1 out, the ground ball is to France at first base. He steps right on the bag. He throws home. Campusano catches the ball out here in front, while Conforto's sliding behind him. To me, Campusano, you can't block the plate because that's the Buster Posey rule.
And he has been called for that.
Okay, but you can't block the plate. But you can catch the ball and then dive backwards. I just didn't see that dive. I saw catch and reach, and it wasn't enough. And Conforto was able to contort and get around it and tag home plate for the go-ahead run. I think you got to see that happening in the back of your mind. You got to catch that ball, and then you got to just sell out on your dive to make sure that you tag that runner.
I bet you
I'm just
makes
saying
a different
that
play next time.
I'm not a catcher, so maybe somebody could say, hey, you can't do it, or it just wasn't there. But I saw catch and reach. To me, I needed catch and all-out dive to make sure that Conforto couldn't sneak in.
I mean, it was a good slide by Conforto.
Hell of a slide.
But it was the winning run.
It was the go-ahead run.
The go-ahead run, yeah.
Bottom of the sixth, Tatis hits a 9-hopper that goes for an infield single. He didn't hit the ball at all. He gets a base hit. The reason I'm pointing it out is because it does even out a lot of times over the course of seasons, line drives that are outs and little dribblers that are hits. Everybody says Tatis has been totally unlucky. I agree, but he was lucky that time.
Yeah, true,
so don't forget that happens.
True.
Manny challenged him. Good challenge here because I thought he struck out. He thought he struck out, but he didn't think he struck out. Kept him alive, unfortunately. He missed a hanging curve and ended up grounding out, and nothing happened that inning. I got 3 innings to go.
We know what we're doing next segment.
Well, we'll do a little more of it for sure. The 7th, 8th, and 9th of today's loss to the Cubs with the notes on a scorecard. I don't know if I have anything as egregious as letting the pop-up drop.
Trying to think of something that happened in the last 3 innings of the game. Oh, well, we can talk about why they pinch hit and all that stuff.
Yeah, did they bring up the right pinch hitters at the end of the game? We'll discuss that with everything else. 5-4 Cubs, bonus hour, Gwynn and Chris ahead.
you idiot. Typical tandem student right there.
I tried. I wrecked your good job, buddy.
Fun, huh?
You need help with anything?
Okay, I'm nervous. Stand up, stay low. Hands on the heart.
Of Gwynn and Chris. Some people call it Skrello.
Skrello Show.
That's when Skraby and Ello join forces in which would a lot of times just be the Skraby Chronicles. But after a day game, the two of us do the post-game show. And here we are after a 5-4 Cubs victory over the Friars today. It's still a happy hour, and it's brought to you by GL Pools, the company trusted by thousands of San Diegans to keep their pools sparkling, swim-ready, and expertly maintained. Call GL Pools now. Say radio. Get yourself a free month of service. By the way, we didn't mention this yet, but thank you to the Marlins who beat the Dodgers again today.
Yeah.
3-2. I don't know if you saw how that game ended.
I don't know what the heck Ohtani was doing.
Well, he was the base runner on first, right?
Yeah.
And Freeman hit a ground ball. Now, the bases were loaded here, and the Dodgers were down 3-2. And Freeman hits a ground ball, and it is fielded on the run by Xavier Edwards, the second baseman. But Ohtani is not yet past him. What Ohtani was trying to do was go back to first base so that maybe Edwards would throw to second for the force.
Yeah.
And if he did that, that would give the batter, Freeman, time to get to first, and then the tying run would have scored from third. So I think Ohtani was being smart.
Didn't even think about that.
So he was being smart. He thought if he stops and goes back, then Edwards, all he can do is throw the ball to second. And now Freeman will be safe at first. The run will tie the game. So I think Ohtani was being really smart. The problem was Edwards outsmarted him.
Yep.
And Edwards chased him down, tagged him.
And forced him to get out of the line.
Tagged him, and then stood on first base before Freeman to get him.
Yep.
It was an unassisted double play on a ground ball to second base, which I don't know that you'll ever see again in terms of tagging the runner and then the second baseman himself tagging first base. But it was so I thought Ohtani made a smart play. Edwards made a smarter play. Marlins 3, Dodgers 2. Padres, along with all of the other frustration you want to add to today, missed a chance to go back into first place.
That's the thing that bothers me the most, because when the Dodgers lose to the Marlins twice,
you want to take advantage, right?
You have to take advantage. But that makes sense about the Ohtani thing. I didn't think about that. I was just thinking Ohtani should have maybe run to second to break up the double play.
Right. If he runs straight to second, then it's just a throw to second back to first. I think he made a smart play, but Edwards just made a play that I haven't seen anyone make. And I think everybody who saw it was like, what's happening? Oh, wait, that was really smart.
Marlins all knew it, and they were like walking off the field.
And even the first base umpire took a second to call Freeman out because he's like, wait, what's happened? Oh, no, that's good. He's out. So I thought it was a good play, and it helped the Padres stay within a half game of first place. All right, let's finish up the notes on the scorecard from today's Skraby. We got through 6 innings. The top of the 7th.
So, by the way, someone says we need to build in a 7th inning stretch in the scorecard.
Yeah, there you go. Let's think about it. With 2 outs, old Bradley gave up the walk. I don't mind the 2-out walk as much as I did that coming out of the bullpen walk by Mortejon. That one just irked me. Ian Happ hits one down the left field line. If that doesn't bounce into the stands, a run scores. You don't like that rule? Right? You think that
I don't like that rule at all.
But what do you think they should do? Like, should they determine that the run would have scored?
I think he should only,
because the run would have scored. if the ball bounced down into the corner.
I get it. I don't really have a good answer, but I don't like it when it's a clear run's going to score and then
they take it away.
And then you have to go stand on third.
Yeah, that was a break for sure.
It was. In that scenario, it's a break for the Padres.
It was. And then I wrote this down because Bush came up with second and third and 2 outs. And you know what I call those? Game deciding at bats. Those are 2 runs at stake on 1 at bat. And Bradley won the battle. Got him on a ground ball. Keep the score 4-3. Bush gets a hit at 6-3. It's game over. Top of the 8th inning. I am not a Matt Shaw fan. It probably has a lot to do with the fact that he has, for lack of a better term, he has pushed his politics on a lot of people. And I don't know that that's fair. And I don't know that anybody really wants that in a sports world where we're trying to escape politics.
That's why we don't talk about it.
But Matt Shaw, during the offseason was big on the pushing his politic thing. And I think that created, rubbed some people the wrong way, created some friction.
Didn't the Cubs try to trade him?
I don't know if they tried to, but I think he felt like part of it was his job was given away to Bregman because Bregman was the new third baseman.
True.
But I can't have more respect for him than I did today, though, because Jason Adam not only threw a fastball or an off-speed pitch, but it's still coming in there pretty good, that was right at his head. But then the next pitch went behind his head, and he still had to step in the box after that.
Yeah.
Like, I would have gone home, wouldn't you?
You can't even see the pitches on the pitch tracker.
I am not. I'm like, can you imagine stepping into the cage at your local, whatever fun?
Yeah, right there, the stadium golf.
Stadium golf. You step into the cage. The first one goes at your head. The second one goes over your head and behind you. You're getting your money back and you're leaving. Or you're not going to stand there and wait for another one.
He's like, is the next one coming at my head?
Right. So then the next one he barely lunged at and hit, and I don't blame him. But man, he ends the at bat by homering to left field.
Was that his first home run Jason Adams given up this year?
It was not a great pitch, but I got to give thumbs up that. I don't like Matt Shaw, but what can I say? That was just pretty impressive.
It was a 6-pitch at bat.
Yeah. And
he smacked a 94-mile-an-hour fastball.
Where was the location?
Top quadrant of the strike
middle,
zone.
Though.
Middle top.
Yeah. All right. Anyway, good for Matt Shaw on that one. Now it's a 5-3 game. The Cubs got to get 6 outs, but they have no bullpen. Palencia's out.
That's what I've been told.
Thielbar's out. I believe Maton was out. I mean, all their key 7th, 8th, 9th inning guys, every one of them is out. In fact, somebody's wrote that the Cubs ought to pick up Jordan Romano, who the Angels just DFA'd.
Oh, they did? I didn't know that.
Yeah. But the Cubs are desperate, and they bring in this guy, Corbin Martin, and he goes walk, walk, walk. And I'm thinking, yep, they got no bullpen.
I mean,
so
these are the moments that need to cut. It needs to happen right here.
This is why we're going to not sleep tonight, because it was bases loaded, nobody out. And we had Fernando and we had Manny. And Fernando got a curveball right in the middle of the plate from Ben Brown, and he got under it.
And I'll give it to him.
You could see how frustrated he was.
I'll give it to him. He did what he needed to do to score a run.
Well,
they still had 2 outs to play with.
No, he got the job done in the sense that he got a run in and got the tying run to third. So he did that, but he was still so mad. You can tell that he didn't hit Grant's, like it wasn't Slam Diego time.
Yeah,
because he missed one. And then
he's got to hit one soon for his own sanity.
For all of our sanity. Manny comes up. I don't know what else to say. We talked about it earlier. It was the easiest double play ground ball I've ever seen hit in Major League history. It just was. I'm sorry. I can't say it any other way.
Matt Shaw, it bounced perfectly into his glove as he was stepping on second base.
And then he threw to first.
Yeah.
And it was the end of the inning. And you went from bases loaded madness to still losing after the 8th inning.
Andy on the chat says, if Manny bunts, we win.
Yeah. All right, Andy. Come on.
Maybe. You can at least tie it up right there.
Manny's not bunting. Stop it.
Oh, you're right.
Stop it.
You're right. With the way he's swinging it right now.
Stop it.
Yeah.
Stop it.
I'll stop it.
Here's the pitch to Babe Ruth. Oh, he lays one down.
See, no one expected it, Chris.
No one expected it. Top of the 9th inning. I'm not concerned, because far be it from concerned. But the last few outings for Mason Miller
little shaky.
Have been normal rather than,
I guess you're right.
Mason Miller.
They're shaky for Mason Miller 2026.
Yes, he gave up a walk today. This first walk in a while. Maybe of the season. No, second of the season. And then Bush, crushed one into the gap. Mm-hmm. Great catch by Merrill. Saved that. Yep. But here's the stat on Mason Miller. And I think it just shows you how incredible what he did was. He struck out 27 of the first 38 batters. The last 17 batters over 4 games, he struck out 2. And that's normal.
Yeah.
What he did before was not normal.
He's also throwing, I think he threw 2 wild pitches this series, which he doesn't do.
And I'm not sure if, I don't know. This is not fair, but I would ask if I was there. But I don't know why he's not really throwing his fastball. He's throwing a lot of sliders.
He loves his slider. I've heard him talk about this.
But the slider works off the fastball. You got to locate the fastball, and then once they see that, they're done for on the slider. If all you throw is sliders, these are major league hitters. They will figure it out.
Now, I agree with you.
As good as it is.
I noticed because the other night, I think he threw like 6 sliders in a row.
You're noticing the same thing I am.
I've heard him say before that he would like to have slider or fastball working off of his slider.
Fine. But the fastball has to be there somewhere.
It does.
And I haven't seen it much. Bottom of the 9th. Not a lot to break down, really. Bogart's out. France out. But you get one last shot. And what you have here is Miguel Andujar coming up. He's already homered in the game, but he's facing a right-hander in Ben Brown. Craig Stammen, or in this case, Randy Knorr, has to determine what he wants to do here. Does he want Andujar to face a righty, or does he want to make a move that will give Ramon Laureano a chance against a lefty? And he made the right move. He made absolutely the right move. He pinch hit Sheets. Mm-hmm. He knew that they would then take the right-hander out and bring a lefty in, and he had Laureano waiting. That is the way to do it. It didn't work, of course. He struck out, game over. But you go with Laureano against a lefty over Andujar against a righty every time. So I think that was managed to perfection. It didn't work, of course. But people are asking about that.
Well, some people were saying that Gavin Sheets has been swinging a hot bat. Why would you?
Because the lefty
either
on
side, lefty, righty.
You could have gone there if you didn't have Laureano. But Laureano's been one of your better hitters all year, too.
I see what you're putting down here.
I was kind of hoping the Cubs would just leave Ben Brown in to challenge Sheets, but they didn't. So you had to do the corresponding move.
And Ben Brown was like 1 out away from a 3-inning save or whatever it was.
He lost his save, but Craig Counsell doesn't care about that. And nor should he, by the way.
Ben Brown, deep down inside, cares a little bit.
Ben Brown cares. I said Craig Counsell doesn't care, nor should he.
I'm trying to see I know that you're right about Gavin Sheets in the decision that was made. I'm just trying to see what his splits are.
He's hit some pretty good balls against lefties. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying you have to go with, to me, what the odds are there. And that is that Laureano's going to come through. Now, I will say this.
He's versus lefties this year. First off, he's only had 7 at-bats.
Yeah.
And he's hitting 143.
1 for 7. Now, here's the other thing that you twisted yourself a little bit. If Laureano got a double there, okay, the pitcher has to stay in because he's a lefty, and you got the 3-batter rule. I believe Jake was on deck. So if Laureano came through with anything but a home run, you then would have been asking your coldest hitter to get a hit against a lefty. And so you could have played it out like that if you want to extrapolate it out that far. But they were just going for the shot there. Yeah. They're going for the deep.
They're trying to end it.
They're trying to tie it.
Well,
they got to tie it.
Yes, but I know what you're saying.
Yes, you do. All right. We'll take a quick timeout. What else is going on in sports? We'll catch up on some of that. NBA playoffs, Stanley Cup action. I think the Ducks did not do it last night. They had their chance against Edmonton, but it didn't work.
Poor Ducks.
Poor Ducks. But they're still leading in the series 3-2. We're taking a break to check some traffic.
Cool today with temps in the mid-60s.
So last night, the bus was to leave for the airport at 8 p.m. And Tony, you know this. Everybody knows this. You know, if you're hooked up with anything like this, as Pete Carroll used to say, on time means you're late.
Right.
So Amy's the young lady who handles all the travel and puts together the itinerary. So we're just about ready to leave. You know,
TJ Lucida.
She stands up as the bus is kind of rumbling to life. And she goes, okay, everybody get your passports out. I want to make sure nobody leaves without their passport. Because, again, you are talking to college kids here, and you don't want
college
them
kids,
to,
huh?
That's what she thought she was talking to.
She thought she. So I'm sitting there, and I'm thinking to my head, like, you don't need a passport for this trip. I didn't even bring one. We're just going to the Bahamas. And so, yeah.
That was your thought process? The Bahamas are an international flight, I believe.
This is almost equal to the fact that North Dakota borders Canada.
Yeah, I think it does equal that, Skraby.
Actually, I forgot all about that.
Yeah, I would have forgot about it too, buddy.
Right. So for whatever reason, I did not bring my passport. I'm sitting there, and I'm like, my stomach, you have your sinking feeling, and I'm like, what? Never do that. Yeah, thank you. And I was like, oh no, I don't have my passport. Here's my second thought, guys. If I just quietly call Lori, because the flight wasn't until 10 o'clock. You got some extra time. So I said, if I call Lori and just have her bring my passport down to the airport, I'll be able to get away with this without everybody knowing that I blew it. Because that isn't a factor here. You don't want to be embarrassed. So she's in the back checking the players' passport situation out. And I'm having this argument with myself. Oh no, what do I do? And so my first thing is I'll call Lori and I'll just say, hey, can you, I blew it. I forgot my passport. Can you meet me down at the airport? And then I thought, we live 25 minutes from the airport. Lori is not going to be happy. Getting my passport and driving it down there.
Because the airport is really easy to access these days.
And never easy to access, exactly. So I had a quick discussion with myself, and it was either A, it's time for me to embarrass myself in front of the team, or I'm going to have to ask Lori to drive to the airport. I chose the first one. So I said, oh my goodness, I can't believe I forgot my passport. I don't have it. And Stacey Terry Hudson looked at me and like, what? Like you? I mean, she wasn't mean about it. She was just like so surprised. And as I was, and everybody's like, what are you going to do? And I said, well, I live, literally 10 minutes from the school. And I said, I'm going to call Lori right now. Is there any way we can just hold up for 10 minutes?
What?
That's all. It was either that or make Lori drive down, Skraby. You got to understand my options here. They're very limited.
I get it, but I think your mistake means that you have to
do the hard one.
Yeah, you have to deal with the hard part.
I agree. Well, this didn't turn out a whole lot better. Amy, it's her first year on the job, but she's a very nice gal, so I don't have any really, I don't have any cachet with her yet. And she's like, looking at her watch, looking at Coach Stacey Terry. She's like, 10 minutes, because that can be a little...
That's stressful.
Well, it's stressful. And she doesn't care. Her job is to get everybody on that damn plane.
Right. And a lot of times what we don't know, the traveling party doesn't know, is they've already called ahead and talked. They have a travel agent that's going to kind of expedite the process a little bit. And if they mess up that contact... then everybody's messed up.
So everything is thrown asunder if you got to wait 10 minutes. And but I'm on the phone with Lori, and Lori's like, well, I'm not going to the airport. There's no way. She's like, you tell them that I'll be there in 10 minutes.
You tell them.
And I will give Lori a lot of credit. She, while this discussion was going on, found the passport and was already in the car.
Whoa.
So I give her a ton of credit. She didn't wait for
okay, go get the passport and hurry
she
up.
did it. Because she knew she wasn't going to the airport. So
she knew she wasn't going to the airport. Exactly, Tony.
She's like, I'm in the car.
She did. She said, I'm in the car. So I told, Amy, and I got Lori on the phone. I'm telling Amy and Coach, I'm like, she's on her way. And I said, I drive this all the time. It really is 10 minutes. And they're like, all right, 10 minutes. So last night, the bus was to leave for the airport at 8 p.m. And Tony, you know this. Everybody knows this. If you're hooked up with anything like this, as Pete Carroll used to say, on time means you're late.
Right.
So Amy's the young lady who handles all the travel and puts together the itinerary. So we're just about ready to leave.
TJ Lucida.
She stands up as the bus is kind of rumbling to life. And she goes, okay, everybody get your passports out. I want to make sure nobody leaves without their passport. Because, again, you are talking to college kids here, and you don't want
college
them
kids,
to,
That's who she thought she was talking to.
She thought she. So I'm sitting there, and I'm thinking to my head, like, you don't need a passport for this trip. I didn't even bring one. We're just going to the Bahamas. And so, yeah.
That was your thought process? The Bahamas are an international flight, I believe.
This is almost equal to the fact that North Dakota borders Canada.
I think it does equal that, Skraby.
Actually, I forgot all about that.
Yeah, I forgot about it too, buddy.
Right. So for whatever reason, I did not bring my passport.
Wow.
Chris, bonus hour, 6:21 the time. Chris Ello, Matt, Skraby. What do they call the show? Skrello. The two of us together for a bonus hour following a 5-4 Cubs victory that snapped the Padres' streak of 7 consecutive series without losing a series. Once again, the Cubs are our kryptonite. They beat us in. I know you can't.
I can't stand PCA either.
I'm not the world's biggest fan, and of course he had 1 home run on the year coming into this series.
Yeah, now he's heating up.
Now he's got 3. Yeah.
I mean, what can I say? He's good at baseball.
Well, of course he's good at baseball, but I will say this. PCA apparently had a come-to-Jesus moment this offseason.
Really?
Yes. Now, whether or not he's been able to follow up on this, Cub fans could tell you if they watch, him all the time. But, his fame is that he throws his helmet and his bat and he can't stand it. And every time he makes an out, he throws a tantrum. Evidently, he was watching something, whether it was on, video or wherever, where a young player was kicked off the team by a coach. And the coach said, he struck out and he threw all his stuff and his gear and his helmet and bat. And coach said, you know what? We don't want any of that. You're out of here. And the kid told the coach, he was like a 9-year-old kid. He said, I see PCA do it all the time.
Oh.
So PCA apparently saw that and said he kind of carried it with him.
Good for him.
Hopefully he kind of learns from that.
That makes me like him a little bit. Also, he took shots at Dodgers fans recently.
So that makes you like him a little bit more.
He said that Cubs fans were way better and way smarter, and they actually like going to the game. They just go to games for pictures, which is what he said about Dodgers fans.
Dodger fans are, there are many that are, obviously great baseball fans.
Yes,
but
like our guy Gilberto.
Of course. And there are many others. Look, I grew up there going to Dodger games. I know there are many great Dodger fans, but the suggestion that people have out there that, a lot of Dodger fans just go there to be seen and arrive late and leave early and only care about, parking and getting a Dodger dog. Yes, there are many who do that as well. So it's not an unfair characterization. It's unfair when you say all Dodger fans are like that.
Agree.
That's not a good characterization.
Agree. And he did have to go back and
but there are many Dodger fans that are kind of there just to have a chat with their neighbor and, be seen maybe sitting behind home plate so their friends at the club can see them.
Yeah, whenever I see a Dodger fan down here, I'm not like mad or anything, but I always wonder, you know what you're doing by wearing all of your Dodger gear walking around San Diego.
They do.
You know what you're doing.
Yeah, but I also think they should be allowed to do that without coming into harm's way.
No, of course. I'm not saying any sort of violence should ever happen. I don't say anything to these people, but I do look at them. I go, that's annoying.
I went to one Broncos game in Denver, and I chanced it with a Marino jersey after his career.
Dolphins?
Yeah, of course they were.
Okay.
And I chanced it because I wasn't sure how it was going to be met there in Denver with some crazy orange maniacs or whatever.
Yeah.
But I survived pretty well. And that means walking into the stadium, getting food during the game, coming back, walking out after Miami had actually won. So
see, that's because
I think most of the time you're okay. But I did see a Raider Denver game once at the Coliseum way back when, where Denver fans were being targeted after the game by fans and, shoved and pushed and yelled at. And
gosh.
Yeah, and it was an awful scene.
That is an awful scene.
And my wife was there and thanked me for not allowing her to wear her Bronco gear that day.
Do you think they're going to come over and kick your wife?
Well, I hope not, but who knows?
Yeah, you're right.
I mean, the bottom line is Raider fans, that's not fair to characterize all of them like that.
True.
But it's also fair to characterize some of them because I saw it firsthand and you've seen it.
And you also, I mean, it's also how you handle yourself in the visiting jersey. If you're being annoying and you're running your mouth all the time, then you're going to get people are going to get angry.
I did see a shot on Twitter today of a Yankee fan in Texas who was just acting the fool. He had his Yankee jersey on. He was turning around. He was taunting two Texas fans. I don't know what had happened in the game, but obviously something good for the Yankees. And he turned around. He's like, just being a total bozo. And I was looking at this video and I watching it. And I'm like, this guy on the left here ought to just slug this guy, even though I didn't mean it.
It happened, right?
Yeah, damn right it happened. He knocked the guy into the ninth row. I mean, he clocked this guy. And I can't say that I ever...
Fighting is never the answer.
Right, it's not. But I can't say I was unhappy to see this bozo get his comeuppance.
The only thing I hate about these stadium fights is that it puts everybody in danger around you because the woman who was a part of this fight, Chris, she was also lost her balance and fell like 3 stairs levels down.
Yeah. There's other people. There's collateral damage in a stadium fight.
I think I've told you guys this, but I was at a Chargers-Titans game like 3 years ago. There was a fight in front of us. I videoed it, put it up online. The guy eventually DM'd me and said that my video ended up winning him a lawsuit because it was just shown proof that he didn't start the fight.
Oh, all right. Well, good for you.
Anyway.
Well, you've always been a caring individual when it comes to the community.
I don't like fighting at games.
I don't like it either. And again, I'm not saying to do it, but man, this Yankee fan, I have to tell you, it was kind of like, all right, dude, I mean, he was almost like saying, I'm going to act like an idiot until you punch me. Right. That's pretty much what happened. The Texas guy said, fine, I'll punch you.
There are a lot of people out there that just don't know how to act in public.
We got Detroit over Orlando, 108-101. 4.5 to play. Pistons must win or be ousted as the number 1 seed. Got a pretty good game 5 in Cleveland. Toronto leads Cleveland 92-88. Still 4 minutes left in the third quarter there. That's going to be a high-scoring game by the time it's over. Later tonight, Lake Show hosting Houston with a chance to close out the series. NHL, Montreal 3, Tampa Bay 2. Game 5, third period, 8 minutes left. And I want to especially thank our friend Kyle Ovenshire.
Oh, Kyle.
Kyle was not only produced the Padre game today here and ran the board and did punched all
Chris
the
was lobbying
A's
for him to become
B's.
the producer of the show.
I was. I came in to do our show and thinking ahead, Kyle had already taken baseball off because the Padre game was over. He put the NBA on one channel. He put the NHL on another channel just for me, just for us. Kyle Ovenshire did not go unnoticed, sir. Thank you.
He has no idea how many points he scored with you.
Oh, it was huge. It was absolutely huge.
That's when he started lobbying for him to be the producer of the show.
I mean, Skraby, if I come in and Skraby's in there and I go, can we put the NBA game? He goes, God, why do I always have to change the channel? Here's the clicker. Don't you know how to do it? I get a whole deal on it.
That's not fake.
But Kyle Ovenshire, he did it for us.
Kyle's still trying to impress people.
Well, he's impressing. It's working. All right, when we come back, we're not going to do a big five necessarily today, but a potpourri touching on some of the other things going on in sports, including, a blast on the NCAA basketball tournament going to 76 teams, and also a blast on San Diego's professional sports franchises. Another one bites the dust.
What?
We will discuss it when Gwynn and Chris continues on 97.3 The Fan. chutzpah the word? The chutzpah of the Philadelphia
The guts.
Phillies, the guts of the Philadelphia Phillies to fire their manager and just immediately bring Alex Cora in 2 days after he's basically fired by the Red Sox. Alex Cora, though, didn't want to come in. So it didn't
I don't know why
work.
you want to go from job to... You know what? He's also getting paid like $10 million over the next couple seasons.
There's got to be some part of you with that kind of money involved that says, yeah, why not take a little time off?
Yeah.
I'm still going to be in demand in 2 years. I'm still a World Series winning manager.
I'll be in demand this winter.
Right. So go ahead and take a couple of months. Go to Tahiti. Stay in one of those, cabins over the water there. Where the water's underneath the
Yes,
cabin.
yes.
That was
bungalow?
that was a big draw for my wife. I mean, we
Was it
flew
cool?
cool enough to fly halfway around the world for, maybe not.
Did you?
But
like,
it was okay. Yes.
Did you get to jump into the ocean from your hotel room?
I did.
That's awesome.
It's not worth flying 12 hours for, as far as I'm concerned.
Didn't you go during the World Series too, and you were trying to find the game? I
did the 2019 World Series. That's how I remember when the trip was. It was the Astros Nationals series. To this day, I never saw one pitch from that World Series.
It was a great World Series,
right?
Too.
I know the Nationals won. I know our guy Strasburg was MVP.
Yes, he was.
But I didn't even see him pitch once. All I was getting was results like 2 days after the games were over.
You were literally
I was really out of the loop on that one. All right, Skraby, let's do a little potpourri to wrap it up. If you're just tuned in, Cubs over the Padres 5-4 today. Especially frustrating day. Padres had a chance there, down 5-3, bottom of the eighth. Bases loaded, nobody out. Fernando just got under one, skied out to deep center. Sacrifice fly made it 5-4 on that Fernando fly ball. Manny came up with first and third and one out and just unfortunately hit the most room service double play ever seen.
Have they ever called it a seeing eye double play?
I know a guy I liked was I don't know if you ever heard him broadcast, Ken the Hawk Harrelson. He did the White Sox.
It sounds familiar.
Yeah, and he kind of he was an old player and he had kind of a country twang to it. And when they turned to double play, he'd always go ground ball to Ozzie over the thing and rack him up.
Rack him up.
Well, that would have been a rack him up like as soon as the ball was hit. Like, here's the pitch to Manny. Rack him up. That was a double play. There was nothing else that play could have been. And so the Cubs hang on for the 5-4 win. What else you got, Skrabe, over there? Anything worth chatting about?
I want to get into the NBA and their new proposal for anti-tanking. But
yes, the tanking thing.
Completely forgot to talk to you about this, but big news in golf. Saudi Arabia has ended funding
of
LIV Golf after this season.
And it was rumored like a month ago, and they said, oh, no.
They said through the rest of the year.
Oh, they did? Okay.
But
that's it, though, at the end of the year.
At the end of 2026, it looks like they're going to be pulling that, and they postponed a couple events. They postponed the one in New Orleans.
Yeah, I saw that they're having trouble even getting some. Why would anybody finish out in a, what do you call it?
You still can win prizes. Lame duck league.
Yeah, lame duck league, yeah. But we're not going to notice the dwindling crowds because there wasn't anybody there in the first place, right?
Yeah, LIV Golf. This is how much money they made. Apparently, they're only making $100 million year over year out of the billions.
Oh, that's all they're making is $100 million, and that's not going to do it.
Billions that they're investing in.
By the way, though, how are they even making $100 million? Where are they making it from? All TV around the world?
Yeah, I don't know.
This is just proof that no matter how much money you have, you
can't force something to work.
You just can't give it away forever. I mean, you're going to say, come on, I've had it.
All right, let's go to Craig Breslow.
That is big news, and it's good news for golf, obviously.
I don't know how that's
the rest of us.
Honestly, I don't know how it's going to affect the players in LIV. I don't think the PGA Tour is just going to allow them to all come right back.
Haven't they let everybody else come right back? Koepka came back. Everybody, when they wanted to come back, they came back. How can they do anything different?
I think they're going to do something different.
You do?
I do. I don't think they're just
they're going to give different rules to John Rahm. They let Koepka come right back in.
Again, John Rahm left for the money. and all these other PGA Tour players stayed. So how do you make it good for the guys who stayed with your product?
I'm not disagreeing with you, but they already let Koepka back free of charge.
They're going to let Koepka back. They're going to let Rahm back, but they're not going to let Joe Smith back.
Okay. Well, we don't need Joe Smith.
We need Koepka
and Rahm. Yeah, we need the guys we've heard of.
All right, I'm going to give us time for this NBA thing.
Yeah, but you know what else? On one last thing on golf now, I'm not going to be watching PGA anymore anyway. You know why?
Why?
Because my favorite golfer is going to the senior tour.
Charlie Hoffman?
Charlie!
You're going to be watching the...
Where do I find the senior tour? It's on
Golf
somewhere.
Channel.
Oh, okay, Golf Channel.
Golf Channel.
Sure.
You know what? I believe they still get to do this, but they get to use carts in the senior tour.
Oh, Charlie.
You don't have to have a...
Charlie's a happy guy.
Like, they drive around themselves.
You know, I can make fun of those guys and say golfers aren't athletes. But you walk 18 holes up and down the hill with the darn bag. Well, they don't have to carry the bag, but still. Nah, it's takes something out of you for sure.
Yeah, try to get into a golf stance 4 days in a row and be consistent with your swing and not feel like your back's broken.
Well, absolutely nobody can be consistent. If we could, we'd be on the pro tour.
Which I once thought I was going to be.
I mean, in all honesty, I never talk about my golf game much because it's not nobody cares. But like, just for example, yesterday I hit at least 10 shots that might make you think I was on the pro tour. That's how good they were.
I don't even think so.
But you know what I mean? Like where you hit something, it's perfect.
People would consider you a good golfer with those shots.
If you saw those shots.
But you are a good golfer.
But if you see the other 80 shots, you'd know that I'm not very good.
What is good golf to you? Is it below 100? Is it between 90 and 95?
You're going numbers, and I don't blame you because that's how most of us do golf. And I do keep track.
I forgot.
No, my thing is I feel good if I want to hit the ball and strike the ball well all day and just hit good shots and good chips and, putts that have a chance to go in. So if I do all of that, the number is what it is.
I don't know why I can't. I cannot play that way. I do go to courses where I just don't keep score at all.
Well, we keep scoring and I keep scoring in my head. I don't write it down.
See, that's also crazy because
Well, I know
there's a piece of paper. There's a card on your cart for you to keep the score.
I don't need to. I know what my score is.
I got it on the hole 6. I think I got a 5.
I know exactly what I got, and it's no thinking involved.
All right. We're going to do this NBA thing in just a second, but
you got another story.
The Red Sox
okay.
is a disaster in Boston and the Red Sox. And what I'm learning is that Craig Breslow, the GM or whatever, the baseball operations guy, it is his team. He makes all the decisions. I did read today from a Mass Live article that Alex Bregman had to talk Craig Breslow out of firing Alex Cora last year because Breslow listened to Alex Bregman. Now that Alex Bregman is not there, there's no one
easier for him to do it.
Way easier. So
I think the young lady that was on with us from The Athletic the other day,
Britt Giroli.
Yeah, Britt Giroli. I mean, she said straight up that Cora won the
popular
battle.
Vote.
No, he won the battle for control over the last general manager.
Yes.
Because the other general manager was out.
Yes.
Craig Breslow thinks he's going to lose to Cora again, so he fired him before he could lose to him.
That's just such a loser move.
Of course it is. It makes you
such a loser move. You're putting yourself above the team at that point.
Well, I think the Red Sox may have not made a great hire with Mr. Breslow. We'll see how it turns out.
Yes, we'll see how it turns out for sure. The other thing is Breslow hated the hitting coach and the hitting philosophy, and they just went back and forth over it.
How can you hate anybody? You know what I mean? Like,
I guess I don't know if he actually hated the guy, but he hated the philosophy. That is for sure. All right, this NBA thing, they're trying to get rid of tanking. This, if approved, can take place in the 2027 NBA lottery, but they're calling it the 3-2-1 lottery.
I want everybody, before you explain how it's going to work, I want everybody to take out their
abacus
calculator and abacus.
Slide rule.
Yeah, everything else you've got. This is not going to be easy to understand.
The phases of the moon as well, we're going to need.
Phases of the moon?
Because there is just so much to this. But, Okay, so it's going to expand the lottery from 14 to 16 teams, and teams that do not qualify for the playoffs or play-in tournament but stay out of the relegation zone, we will get to that in a second, would receive 3 lottery balls each. Teams with a bottom 3 record, which is the relegation area, would only get 2 lottery balls, but those teams in the relegation area can pick no lower than number 12. The other 13 lottery teams could fall as far as the number 16 pick.
I think that, and I'm not disagreeing with that. I'm sure those are all the rules, but it seems so. I'm watching the end of this hockey game. Tampa Bay has the extra attacker, and they must have just fired 75 shots on goal in the last minute.
Oh, and they're fighting.
Well, they're fighting now because the game's over. Tampa Bay came up short.
There's been some good hockey fights recently.
Yeah, when the final horn goes, these guys let it loose.
Well, I didn't know this, but we saw earlier was it the Canadians player who stopped but
showered the goalie
with all the ice?
Yeah,
and I didn't know that was a bad thing.
Move.
I didn't know that.
Not a good move. He drew the attention of the rest of the Tampa Bay players. But anyway, Tampa Bay, what a finish. I mean, they had the extra man. They fired 70 shots on this poor goalie in the last minute of the game, but none of them went in somehow. So Montreal takes a 3-2 series lead.
That is pretty amazing.
They win the game 3-2. All right.
So
here's the lottery. Here's what I get.
Back to scientific formula.
Yeah, the scientific formula.
Let me give this to before you go.
Okay.
In addition, no team would be able to win the top pick in consecutive years or be able to win 3 consecutive top 5 picks. Teams also would not be able to protect picks going forward. So that's the
I think the protecting picks is partly going to help.
Yeah.
Because that's very confusing. Here's the simple version. If you have the first, second, or third worst record, in this case this year it would have been Washington, Indiana, and Utah, I think.
Okay.
Those teams only get 2 ping pong balls. Whereas the rest of the teams that don't make the playoffs get 3.
But they can't pick any lower than number 12.
I understand that. But the basic thing that they're trying to say here is that if you finish with the 4th, 5th, 6th, any of those lousy records, but you at least weren't going into the tank to have the worst record in the league, you're going to get 3 chances, whereas the 3 worst teams are only going to get 2. And if you don't like it, then play yourself out of the worst 3.
The relegation area.
Yeah, get yourself out. Win some games down the stretch so that you can get an extra lottery ball. I'd be honest with you, on that surface, I like this rule.
Me too.
I think it's okay. I'm sure there's going to be some finagling going on, but I guarantee you, Washington wouldn't have been starting D-League players the last month of the season. It would have been not.
You're probably right about that.
It would only be beneficial to try and have a better record so that you can get more ping pong balls.
All right, we got to get to one more story.
Yes.
Before we get out of here. But we talked about it yesterday. It is going to happen. The NCAA has initiated the final steps to expand the men's and women's basketball tournaments to 76 teams. It should, if approved, it's going to start next year. Or actually, it's already approved. They're just trying to formalize it.
Yeah, it's starting next year.
It's going to start next year. So 76 teams. Both Chris and I hate this.
Well, and get in line. Everyone hates this, except for the presidents of the SEC schools and the Big Ten schools and the ACC schools that are going to make more money when more of their teams are now allowed in the tournament.
Yep.
That is the end of the story. Everyone else in college basketball hates and despises this idea for all the reasons we said, too many teams, you're watering it all down, but they're only doing this to give themselves more money.
Yep.
And anything that they say that isn't that is gaslighting. And if I'm using the term gaslighting correctly.
Yeah, no, you're right. You are.
You're basically just lying to us. The only reason, and if they haven't had the press conference yet to officially announce it, I can't wait till they have it. Because they're going to stand up there and go, we just made the greatest event in sports bigger and better than ever.
And it's all for the kids. We
want more guys to get experience in the tournament, more teams. No.
That's the gaslighting.
The Auburns, I'd have to look at the bottom of the SEC standings, but you know what I mean.
Missouri
the
or
Auburns,
something.
Missouris, whoever. In the Big Ten, USC was just short, maybe. Washington was anyway. Those are the teams that are going to get these spots. They're not going to give them to,
San Diego State
or mid majors, and they're not going to give it to some little tiny school in the MEAC. You know what I mean? Those conferences are not getting anything different.
The good old Mid-Eastern Atlantic Conference.
Yes, like Miami of Ohio last year. You go 39-0, but you lose your championship game.
We're not even going to think.
We're not going to put you in. Anyway, this is a total money thing, and I hope it gets exposed as such. And I wouldn't mind them putting enough pressure on all these guys to try to get it changed, but good luck, because these are the powers that run the sport, and they are ruining it piece by piece by piece by piece. They're tearing it apart. The only thing saving college basketball, the only thing, is that once the darn tournament starts, we can't help it, but the games are really exciting.
Well,
if it wasn't for that, I get you, we might not be drawn in the first place, but the rest of what's happening in that sport is just bad.
Well, NCAA is trying to sell this as they're not going to, this is not like a get-rich-quick scheme. It's more of they're trying to make the competition better. They're trying to make it better for college sports.
No.
And they're saying they're not going to make that much money, Chris. They're not going to make much money.
Gaslight.
It says this. The added finances would cover the additional logistic costs for both men's and women's tournaments, the additional NCAA tournament units that would come into play and still deliver a, quote, modest financial upside.
Gaslighting.
I agree.
We don't believe you at all.
At all. Don't they have a massive problem happening more so than 76 teams? Don't they have a massive, NIL transfer portal issue that they're just
That's
not
something
doing?
that needs to be dealt with, too. And I don't know that you're ever going to get past the courts on that one. Because every time you try to make a rule, somebody just, challenges it in court and wins.
Yep.
So, I'd like to get a handle on the NIL. But, somebody's making all that money that they're giving to these kids. Most of the money that's being given to the kids, by the way, is not coming from the universities.
It's rich people.
Yeah, just rich people who want to give their money away to kids.
It's basically...
So maybe that in and itself is not so horrible, but it's just the way it's all happening, and kids having the freedom and the ability to go from sell their, wares each year to 5 different schools in 5 years. That is kind of distasteful to most of us.
So it's the legal. Remember that movie, The Program, where they hand I think it's Omar Epps, they hand him an envelope full of money.
Okay.
This is like the legal thing now. The rich people can just put it into NIL and they can funnel it down to the players.
I don't mind, but again, I don't necessarily mind that there's some multi-gazillionaire that wants to give a kid like Magoon Gwath $1 million.
Go for it.
Fine. Better that Magoon have it than some guy that I don't care about.
Yeah.
But the fact of the matter is it's such an unlevel playing field again now, because Auburn has more of those rich guys than New Mexico State has.
Yes.
Are we out of here?
We're out of here.
I didn't hear any music, so
it's been playing.
Oh, that music is our out music
this
today?
This is the Skraby Show out music.
I did not know that.
Here we go. Tomorrow, we'll be back. Gwynn and
Well,
Chris.
we'll be back. Don't forget Roundtable in the morning.
Yes, Roundtable in the morning. Gwynn and Chris starting at 2 p.m. Replay of the Roundtable at 5 p.m. here on 90. I'm waiting through. I got to wait 5 more seconds.
Cubs 5, Padres 4 was the final. Sorry about that.
Yeah, that stunk. Bye.
It's Karen Harrison here to help you beat the book.